Welcome to Orgasmic Conscious Cooking with yours truly, Big Daddy John. Tonight, we're gonna have some fun. It's not gonna be very long, but it's gonna be extremely healthy, somewhat healthy. How many of you out there like Brussels sprouts? Okay. Brussels sprouts, I always call baby cabbages, same family. Okay. One of the problems with cabbage is that when it gets in your belly, it creates a gas. But I realized or figured out if you don't steam them and I stir fry them, it usually doesn't create as much gas. Okay. There's also an interesting piece that you could take with Brussels sprouts and cabbage that you can make, what is it, kimchi. I call it kimchi or sauerkraut, but kimchi that's fermented. And it actually, the chemicals that come out of kimchi is actually an ingredient. I can't think of a probiotic that's actually really good for the belly. It actually little bugs that go in your belly that eat up the bad bugs. You know, it's like gangster. Never thought a vegetable could be gangster. So I'm gonna tell you how I found this recipe. Yours truly. I'm on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and recently my son told me that I should get on TikTok. So you can go over to TikTok, and I have some pictures or some quick recipes that I put together on TikTok. But I was start to following people on TikTok that actually cook too. And I found this one brother called meatlikemike. He had this recipe of Brussels sprouts, bacon, chopped bacon, and Parmesan cheese. Okay. So it's quasi healthy. The bacon is going to really throw it over to where who doesn't like bacon? This is this donut shop here in Portland called Voodoo Donuts, and they have this maple bacon. I got bacon salt for my popcorn. Bacon goes with everything. It's not always the greatest for the arteries and the heart, but man, it is like amazing. That amazing flavor. So what happens is that these Brussels sprouts become very crispy, and it has that. And when it comes out, you sprinkle bacon. Like I'm breaking. You sprinkle bacon and Parmesan cheese over the top, and you stick it back in the oven for a hot second. Let it get crisp up. My God, I was teasing my boys. So let me give a shout out to my guys, Gino and Derek, who actually helped produce the show for me. I couldn't do it without them. I was telling them, Tori said, bacon is healthy. Yeah, I'm going to talk about bacon. We're going to get back there in 1 second. But anyway, I told them, what's the matter? Me, no pork, bacon to me. I'm allergic. However, I do love turkey bacon. Turkey bacon will work too. So I'm going to tell you what you do to make it crispy. You want it to be crispy. You don't want soggy. And Access Conscious say you don't want anything soft, but I can't say that online. Okay. Bacon, right, Gino? So I was teasing Gino and Derek about I almost ate what I'm going to show you, because what I always do is I usually prepare something so you can see at the end of the segment what it looks like when it's done. So I pulled it out. That sounds weird. Okay. I pulled it out and I start eating it. Laura, what's up, babe? I know she doesn't do bacon, but I'm gonna talk. This is some organic bacon. I'm gonna get to the bacon in a second. I start to taste it and like, oh my God, this is fucking awesome. Okay. So Laura out there, she works with me in Multnomah County. She got 30 years too, like 30 plus years like myself. We're getting the hell out of there real soon. Been a pleasure working with y'all, but I'm deuces out. So anyway, let's get back to this bacon, because this is organic bacon. I buy this bacon locally at this store called New Seasons. No hormones, you know, let's see, no grain. These are healthy pigs and cows that I bought my meat from. Okay. You can also, if you have an allergy, like one sister said, to pork, you can use turkey bacon. But here's the only concern I have for turkey bacon. The chemicals, okay. Have you ever seen turkey? You have dark meat, you have white meat. You ain't got no red meat unless it's smoked. That might be where you get the smoked bacon look type in bacon. I can't even speak tonight. But anyway, you can cook turkey bacon, but you want to make sure you cook it up so it's really, really crispy, because you want it to be crunchy on top. You don't want it to be soggy. Also with the pork bacon, what I do with the pork bacon, is I cook it extremely slow, like down on low, like a 2 on my oven, and the fat renders off of it, and it becomes very crispy. I chop it up. I'm gonna show you how I put this together. Okay, let's see, Lori. It's the best bacon. Yeah, I agree. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. Any questions? Oh, you know the other thing. Oh, and garlic's in it. My best friend garlic. Can't live without garlic. I cheat on this show, and I actually use minced garlic from Trader Joe's. Tori says, slow and low. Yes. Roast that baby out. You know, get that flavor. So let me tell you the other thing. This is not the healthiest, but if you want to treat yourself occasionally, when you render the fat from the bacon, you can store it. Let me show you what it looks like. Can you guys see that? I'll see if I can open this up. So what this is, let me see if you can see that, is rendered bacon fat. I use that in beans, and I also use that in popcorn when I pop the popcorn. The flavor, the bacon flavor is here, and what happens, I use like just a teaspoon of it with another oil because I want just the flavor of bacon. Remember I told you, bacon is sexy. It's orgasmic. How does it get better than that? I can hear myself like, oh my God, can I get a piece of bacon? No, I do like bacon, but we don't eat it often, just on special times. But anyway, let me go ahead and get to this recipe. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these Brussels sprouts and parchment paper. Why parchment paper? Things won't stick to the pan. Easy peasy cleanup. If you don't have this, you take extra time scrubbing your pan. If there's any sugar, which I could do, if I take a reduced vinegar and there's more sugar in it, if I put that on the pan, it's going to stick. On the parchment paper, we're not going to have that problem. So let's get to this. Okay. But yeah, I want to give another shout out to meatlikemike on TikTok. He has a lot of great recipes. I'm a follower of his. Maybe I'll get him on the show one time. I'm pushing at that, or tugging, or expanding, pulling. You guys know what that means. Anyway, so Brussels sprouts. So we got the Brussels sprouts out. Okay. Spread them out on the pan. All nice and all. So what we're going to do is we're going to take olive oil. Now, he didn't measure it on the show, so I wasn't sure. I prefer extra virgin organic Spanish olive oil. Now, let me tell you the story behind olive oil. I was told by a good friend that travels to Europe a lot that a lot of the exported olive oil is not truly olive oil. It's kind of corrupt. You know, there's corruption everywhere. So what they do is they export the bad stuff to the Americans and add other oils to it. What's up, Connie? How you doing, sister? Thanks for showing up. Brussels sprouts, bacon, little Brussels sprout was sold. But anyway, let's see. I eat bacon all the time. Yeah, me too. Hey, sister. Love bacon. I think they even got bacon ice cream. One of my favorites is roast. Hey, Gino. Hey, well, you got to, when you come back out here. So it's a running joke right now. So I'm going to go ahead and tell it here. My boy Derek said he's seen me more because I go home to take care of my parents than my boy Gino. But Gino is like radar. He stay inside. Did y'all watch MASH? He's on top of everything. But anyway, I'm going to quit that. So I'll get back to the olive oil story. Cold pressed, unfiltered. If you want a lot of flavor from olive oil, you want the cold pressed, unfiltered. If you don't want the flavor of olive oil, you'll get something that's filtered. Okay? So if you could see this is dark in color, because olives are dark in color. Okay? When you see light olive oil, that means they've taken out a lot of the nutritional value and the flavor. I'm Flavor Flav. So anyway, I'm going to pour this on. I hope you guys can see this. Any other questions? My wife told me, reminded me that you don't want to have a lot of dead space. Frozen, I don't understand, Laura. Frozen olive oil? I've never used frozen olive oil, but my spoon. Okay. So told you I like a lot of garlic if I open the top. Where's my son? There we go. I was about to say, Halim, help me. Halim. Arturo will love that. So what I'm gonna do, it's a lot of juice in it. I don't want that juice. So I'm putting about, can you see that? About a tablespoon, a little bit more. I love my garlic. Okay. My hands are gonna get all messy and all. So it's usually 3 cloves of garlic, but I went overboard a little bit because I really love garlic. So the magic ingredient that I almost forgot earlier is smoked paprika. Okay. Okay. Uh, did I drop off? Somebody just told me I'm not live anymore. Okay. Okay. Are we back on? I'll just keep going. You catch the recording. So paprika, I put about a teaspoon of that. I like it. It's gonna give it a little. It's also gonna give it a lot of color, and it gives smoky, sweet flavor. How do you select good Brussels sprouts? Oh, okay. So let me talk about Brussels sprouts. Thanks, Gino. So Brussels sprouts, I bet you wouldn't even know what it look like. They grow on a bush, and they look like little knobs, like little heads on a tree. And the freshest Brussels sprouts are usually found on that bush. Usually, by the time they arrive to stores that are a bit away from a farm, they're cut and they're dark where they've been cut in black because the oxygen starts to uh, break down the vegetable. So what I usually do is this time I bought Trader Joe's. They were in a bag. But what happens is that you don't want them to be soft and they'll look really firm. Sometimes they're purple, but I think that's a certain type. Uh, but they shouldn't be discolored. I've gone to the store before and they were brown and there were black spots on it. Don't don't mess with it. And if you grow them yourself, you get these bugs called aphids, which is hard. They're hard to get rid of. But what you can do is take a little uh, oil, detergent, something that's not poisonous, mix with water. You can spray it, and it could kill the not the oil, uh, neem oil. You can use neem oil, and it cook. So I've grown Brussels sprouts, and I wasn't aware of the bugs. Next year, I found out, oh, let me use this neem oil. Problem gone, solved. Also for cabbage. Okay, so we have paprika, garlic, salt. Now, you want to be very careful with the salt. Why? Because the Parmesan cheese that you're going to put on the end and the bacon has a lot of salt. Okay, so I'm probably going to use about a half a teaspoon, if that. I don't want it too salty. Now, I would use red pepper, but my wife's a bit of a wimp, so we're not gonna, and she has to eat with me tonight. So I should be so happy, huh? But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put about a teaspoon of black pepper. I'm gonna tell you guys the secret of this jar in a second. Okay, I'm kind of a sentimental dude, if you haven't found that out yet. So I have 2 jars, which are oyster jars. Okay, these jars were given to me from somebody that's very special in my world. Her name was Rita Benjamin. She was one of my adopted moms when I moved to Portland. I wasn't really adopted, but she adopted me as when I became the youth minister at Immaculate Heart Church, St. Andrew's Church. And she would store all her spices and seasoning in jars. And when I first got my first apartment, she gave me these 2 jars. And she was one who was responsible for me to learn how to make gumbo, pralines, pecan pralines. What else? Anything that was from Louisiana, pretty much Rita Benjamin taught me how to do it. So I'm very much gratitude for her. Okay, so you see how this looks right now. So can you see that? Okay. So what you got to do, I always turn my water on in the background because it's going to get a little bit messy. So what I want to do, I'm going to just use one hand. You want to make sure that everything's covered by the olive oil. See that? Can you guys see what I'm doing there? I hope so. And you want to make sure you don't want it to clump up because you want it to cook so it crisp up. It's all shiny because that's the olive oil. Okay. And voila, that's what it's going to look like before you put it in the oven. So we got that there. Okay. So you put this in the oven. I know Gino said we need it out of the camera so they can see me take things in and out of the oven. And it cooks at 400 degrees for 15 to 30 minutes. Now, everybody's oven cooks differently. So you're going to have to gauge. What's going to look like it's going to start to brown the smaller parts, the smaller pieces, I should say. And you're going to find that it crisps up really quick. So you want to keep an eye on it. Some ovens at 400 at 30 minutes, you'll have a burnt biscuit pretty much. Other ovens, it'll come out perfect. So I'm going to let you see what the real ingredient looks like. Voila. Can you see that? I'm showing the wrong camera. This camera. Okay. I'll get used to it one day. So what I have done is that when it comes out, you put the bacon on it, the Parmesan cheese, you stick it back in the oven for about 2-3 minutes at the max. Crisp up. Can you guys hear this? Oh my God, look at this. Look at this. Oh my God. Now, some people are like, I don't like vegetables. I don't eat vegetables. You will eat this vegetable. I am like in love with this. And when you go over to Mike's site, he actually said, you might not like Brussels sprouts, but you're going to love these. And remember, the selling piece for this? Bacon. Now, you can also use other types of meat or not. If you're vegetarian, you don't have to put the pork in it. It just won't have the bacon flavor. But I've also come to find out that there's chips that vegans use that has a lot of bacon flavor, which is made out of beans. You might be able to get away with that after they come out and just crumble up on top. Okay, yes, we're live on YouTube. Okay, so sometimes Facebook drops things and it's something like we might have a technical problem, but you will be able to find a copy on YouTube. I would like you to go to my page and please go over the page and say, like this brother, push it on to somebody else. And if you know anybody who wants to come on my show, I'm looking at the wrong camera. Sorry, Gino. Have them call me, hook up with a brother. If you know about a Food Network, like From the Kitchen, I would love to go on there. I would love to have them here. I have a lot of stuff in the kitchen and freezer to cook. But anyway, let me try this out for you. Oh my God. In Access, they have a saying, how does it get better than this? That's the question. How does it get better than that? I want to thank you guys for showing up, for hanging out with me tonight. I told you it's going to be really quick. What I've started to do in every show, remember, it says orgasmic consciousness cooking. So what I usually do is I try to bring in a spice from consciousness, and this time it's from Access Consciousness. And I have this clearing that you can use for yourself, or more of a mantra, I would say. And I'm gonna call this mantra paprika, because that's what gave this sweet, smoky taste. And this tool will make your life sweet, smoky, and orgasmic. So here's what it says. How can I outcreate myself today with total ease? Now, you might say, what does that mean? A lot of us like to do competition. What if we let go of competition and we just outcreate it ourselves? What if you didn't worry about anybody else? What do you need to have to outdo anybody else? You just have to outcreate yourself. So guess what? You wouldn't get bored. Once again, I'm gonna read that to you. How can I outcreate myself today with total ease? Try that out for the rest of this week. I see you guys next week. In 2 weeks, we have a guest, Vanessa White. I don't know what we're gonna cook. She's gonna bring some treats or whatever. She's the one who twists my locks. I know somebody say, you don't have any hair on the type, but my locks in the back. But anyway, I love you guys. I hope you have a wonderful week with total ease, fun, and being energy of money. Love you. Peace.